What's up, y'all? My name is Young Elder. I'm a community healer. That's my profession. But if we being specific, I'm a social worker, I'm a barber, I'm a mentor, I'm an artist. Now what kind of question is that? How did I get my start? I started off just making music, just using music as my outlet, creating music as a way to show off my rapping skills, but also share a positive message for my peers and the people who was listening to my music. Then after that, I realized, oh, I think I could do a little bit more than just music. So then I started actually getting into the business aspect. So I found out that I could actually cut hair. I started cutting hair and it really just took off. And I realized that I put love in everything that I do. So that's how I got the name Extra Love for my business, Extra Love Cuts. But it's not just Extra Love Cuts, it's Extra Love everything. Like I said, I'm a mentor and I do all different things, and I really try to incorporate that aspect of love, that aspect of community healing and people coming together so that we can actually see a collective healing in Baltimore. Yeah. So that's how I got my start. Young Elder. So my cousin, he just prophesied over me. He said, "You are a young elder." And I'm like, what's a young elder? That doesn't even make sense. He said, "You're young, but you're wise." And at the time, I'm like, I am? Like, I couldn't see the wisdom in myself, but that kind of helped me understand that I have a future and I am wise. If somebody's saying I'm wise, then I must be. So I started actually picking up on wisdom and surrounding myself in spaces where I can gain wisdom from the people around me. So that's how I got the name. It started off as a rap name, then it evolved into like a persona, but now it's a mindset. Top inspirational people who are not mainstream. One person that is truly inspirational to me is, first off, my mother. I can't go nowhere unless I say the inspiration that came from my mother and her resilience. I put my mother and my grandmother in the same category because they both amazing and influential, and I wouldn't be here without them. But aside from them, I would also say my mentor, Joni Hollifield. Now, as a young person growing up in Baltimore looking for mentorship, I have seen both sides, the pretty side and the ugly side. I've seen the people who actually care about young people and the people who don't actually care about young people. So my mentor, she genuinely has shown me what it looks like to pour into young people and pour into somebody who has a passion and who has a vision. So Joni Hollifield for sure. My brother Montez Cooper, he was a philanthropist, an artist, a poet, all of those amazing things. He graduated from Coppin State University, but he's also the reason why I go so hard for mental health. He wrote a book called The Shift in Me, and he basically talked about how he went from not really having a mindset of wanting to be successful and becoming, a victim to his situations, to actually chasing his dreams and seeing that he can be something great despite the product of despite being a product of his environment. But my brother, he lost his life to suicide, and that really changed my outlook on how life is. People suffer in silence. We don't often talk about the things that we're going through. I don't even like to talk about what happened to him. So it's very stigmatized. So that's why I do what I do, because I feel like we all have something that hurts us on the inside and we don't really want to talk about it. Or we feel like if I do talk about it, then they're going to think I'm weak. Or they'll think if I do talk about it, I'm going to be a burden. And I don't want to be a burden, so I'll just carry the burden myself. But for me, I just feel like the burden is lighter when we carry it with the people who want to carry it, when we have the people who want to support us. And I know I'm kind of going on a tangent, but that's me. Like, that's why I do what I do. I feel like everybody deserves to have a space where they feel safe and they feel heard and they feel cared about. And I don't want it to just be a space that you enter with me. I want it to be the spaces that you enter everywhere. So I'm trying to figure out how can I take this extra love concept and apply it everywhere so that everybody can understand that all it takes is just a little bit of extra love. So, yo, I'm an only child, so I grew up, it was literally just me. So once I actually started seeing Baltimore and seeing how people interacted as a community, it's just like I just saw the love that radiated through it. So when I was in college at Coppin State University, I volunteered at this elementary school called Matthew A. Henson. And as I was there, I would walk from Coppin to the elementary school. And it was like a 10-minute walk. And as I walked, I noticed like it's so many abandoned buildings, it's so much trash, like it's so much blight in this community that it made me feel heavy. And so I'm thinking to myself, if I'm feeling heavy like this, I can't imagine how the kids that I'm working with who walk through this every day are feeling. So they just kind of changed my perspective. Like, our environment has a very heavy impact on who we are able to be. So I feel like if we're able to somehow alter that environment to where people can feel loved and they can feel cared about, then people can be able to be the best versions of themselves. So that's what got me into the community. I looked around and I said, oh, this ain't right. And now we here. It just emphasizes the African proverb that says Ubuntu, which means I am because we are. So if I'm working with somebody and they're going through something, it's not just they're going through something. It's a collective, you know, it's something that we all feel together because it trickles down. The same way that trauma can trickle down generations, so can kindness, so can love, so can hope. All of these things can trickle down. So through my community work, I have seen that they try to paint Baltimore as this place where don't nobody care about nothing. All we do is kill each other, but that's not it. This is a city of love. I know they say Philly the city of love, but Baltimore is the city of extra love. You can go ahead and stamp that. Self-care. As a community leader, self-care is the #1 priority, but there's a difference between self-care and self-soothing. So sometimes I might do something that's temporary, but doing things that's long-term, like journaling, going for a hike, spending time with the people that I love, making art, making music, and spending time with young people. Like spending time, like I learned that cool, like I'm a mentor to them, but they also are a mentor to me because they teach me things and they help me keep me up to date. So that's how I stay in the game. You know, I take care of myself and I also surround myself around people who are intentionally pouring into me. That's how I keep myself in the game. Yo, that's a good question, yo. And somebody finally asked the question on camera too. I don't think anything's ever done, right? So when I first started doing music, I did it as an outlet for myself. And then I noticed that it started serving a greater purpose for other people. And then it became a job. And then it was like, so it was kind of hard to put a job on a passion. So that's why I took a step back. But I definitely see myself like getting back into the musical realm. I keep telling people like, yeah, when life slow down, I'm gonna make some music. But life never gonna slow down. So stay tuned. You guys stay in the game so you can see if I'm really gonna drop something or not. So for me, my writing process is, I'm not a freestyler. Not even going cap, I'm not gonna act like I am. My writing process is I really have to sit down and I have to write it, and it has to come from a really deep place. Usually it comes from a place of pain or a place of like overcoming. So whenever I get into a space like that, that's when I'm able to, and I gotta have a hard beat, like, you know, so sometimes it's hard to get both of those at the same time, you know. But I'm just led by my heart. My heart just leads my pen, and that's it. So I was cutting my own hair when I was younger. I was always messing myself up. My brother, he would let me practice on him, but it was just kind of something we did for fun. And then there was this barber in Baltimore, and his name was Cuts by Dev. And I was watching him on Instagram, and I was like, that's hard. Like, I thought it was very like interesting how he would do his transformations. I was really into it. And then they killed him. And I was just like, huh? Like, I couldn't really wrap my head around that. But it like created this fire in me. Like, now I really want to do it, because like the person that I was looking up to, he didn't even get the opportunity to fulfill the dream that he was trying to fulfill. So it's not his dream, it's my dream. But that just showed me, like, yeah, like I might want to head in this direction. Something is over here. And then now I'm here. And I started cutting hair when I was in college. People was asking me, yo, Elder, who cut your hair? Who cut your hair? And I'd be like, I cut my hair. And they'd be like, can you cut my hair? And then I would say, chill, like, chill, because I was nervous that, like, what if I cut you and I mess up? Like, I'm not really trying. Or, like, what if I cut you and I find out I'm actually good at it, and then I got to keep doing it. So here we are. Young Elder is, Young Elder is a catalyst for change. You know, I always think about what Tupac said, you know, he's like, I might not be the one to change the world, but I'm gonna be the one that sparked the mind that'll change the world. So I'm not really worried about like the followers and the stuff like that. That's all great and it's all appreciated, but I'm more so worried about the impact that can be made and how I can make an influence. Because our generation, like the generation that's coming up behind me, they need help. Like, they need help from us. So that's, Young Elder is a catalyst for change. So don't worry about me being the next superstar. Don't worry about me being the next whatever. I just want to be the one that sparks the mind, that makes the change. That's cool with me.